Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled People. In today's episode, Karen was upset we put our beach chairs in front of her. Am I wrong because I don't want my son to throw his life away? Karen demands seat on LRT and gets thrown. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Karen was upset we put our beach chairs in front of her. I'd been in FL for the last couple of weeks, and the beach near our home has some chairs with umbrellas that you can rent. They have to remain in the positions they were set up in, and there are some local regulations that the chair rental companies have to be a certain distance off the water, 30 to 50 feet. Like everyone else who brought their own chairs, we sat ours around 10 feet from the waterline, away from the rental chairs. It's not like you could set up in between them. Anyway, this couple rented 2 of the chairs and an umbrella, and shortly after we sat down, she got up and went to find the manager. She stated that they paid for an oceanfront view and that we were impacting their experience. We were seated about 10 foot lower than them as the beach slopes down from the flat area their chairs were on. We also were about 20 foot away from them. Karen then demanded the manager ask us to move. He asked them to shift to the chairs to the right. They did, glared at us, and then promptly left. Edit for fun, the reason they left is because another couple set up in front of their new spot around 10 minutes after this happened. They were probably 5 to 10 feet to the right of us and 20 foot from that couple in the paid for chairs. Did they have a deed to the entire ocean to back up that claim? Is there no limit to how deranged entitled people can be? They paid for an ocean view. At the beach. In a chair. Yep. Deranged. Not gonna lie. This one gave me the giggles. And then she had to go get someone. They paid for an oceanfront view? I'm dying. Yep. What's funny is that there was literally no way we were blocking their view. We were seated about 5 to 10 foot lower than them, so they easily could see over us. Manager, can you see the ocean? Her, yes, but. Manager, then you have an ocean view. Thanks for explaining how the chair and umbrella rental works. But Karen doesn't know that the beach is not private property, and so there is little anyone can do if some decide to use the beach closer to the water. Perhaps you can suggest they run down to the store and buy their own chairs and umbrella, so they can get in front of someone else. That would probably make her year. Triumph. This is the same type of person that wrote Yosemite saying that they really need to train their bears better. Or the person about the deer crossing signs telling deer to cross dangerous roads. Oh, I know. My mom works for a ski area, and a Karen came in and asked her if she could get all of the people off a ski run for her. DeSantis voters in the wild. It sounds like someone that lives in a city and doesn't understand nature, untrained bears, or how first come first choice works. They want everything changed to their view of the world. To me, this sounds like people from the other political party that currently is in the White House. Next complaint would be addressed to Neptune to move the ocean levels up to wash those who dare to remove my view. Beach chairs guaranteeing an oceanfront view? LMAO, that is true entitlement. I mean, I might understand if you were trespassing on a private Club Med resort beach, but a public beach? Utterly ridiculous. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day after those idiots left. Yep. We go another laugh as another group sat down in front of their new spot. Am I wrong because I don't want my son to throw his life away? Okay. Maybe I didn't put enough information in this post, and to all of you that say I'm lying, the post asking for medical advice is from my 30-year-old disabled daughter. I have photos of the condition of the home, but I don't know how to post them. My son wants this girl gone, but at this point I'd have to evict her and she could possibly take the baby. Okay, it wouldn't let me post an IDA for whatever reason, but I want others' opinions on this because it's got my life divided. My F50 has a son who is 26. He's always been a good kid, just low self-esteem. In the last few years he met and moved in with a woman in her mid-30s and had a baby with her. The age is not my problem, it's her behavior and that of her family. She and my son had a baby, who is now a year old. The baby's mother is lazy. She and my son live in a house my husband and I own, and it's completely trashed due to her not doing anything. My son does the laundry, the dishes, and what cleaning up happens. My son works for my husband and doesn't have time to clean once he gets home at 7 p.m. There is clothes piled everywhere. She won't even get up and put clean laundry in dryer. She won't sweep, mop, clean bathrooms etc. I went and cleaned the house because I didn't want my granddaughter living like that. The mom sat on her behind the entire time. Her family is a nightmare. She's tried moving her recently released from prison sister into the home and got upset when we said no. Her mother has also tried the same, saying the house was theirs now, and got angry when I said no, it's not. My husband and I bought all the baby items, furniture etc., and this girl's family didn't contribute anything. She tried getting assistance, but I told the social workers my son makes more than enough to take care of his child. The mom has another child, an older son whom was removed at birth due to her drug use. My granddaughter was born addicted to substances because she'd been using them behind our back. My son was tested and came back negative. I keep the baby most of the time because the mom can't be bothered to get up with her at night and sleeps until 1 p.m. The mom doesn't drive. She lost her license due to criminal charges and demands either me or my son drive her around. I've told her I don't mind going to scheduled appointments, but I am not driving her or her friends and relatives around. Now, she wants to marry my son and has even said it's because if they're married my husband and I will have a responsibility to her and her family. I told her that will never happen and that unless they buy their own home, the home they're living in will stay in my name. Her brother recently took the hot water heater out of the house while my son was at work. Her mom and sister have bragged she got pregnant on purpose to trap my son because we are rich. Recently we found out her sister has been zooming over during the day and doing drugs in the house. I told her if I found out sister was there I'd be calling the police, and I'm in the process of having the girl trespassed. I've offered this girl money to leave my son and granddaughter because according to the last social worker I spoke with, due to the mom's past, they could remove the baby at any time and place in her foster, and the only reason this didn't happen at birth is because of my son and our family. I told the baby's mom I'm not going to see my son throw his life away because she's a gold digger and that it's best if she leaves. I'm filing for custody of the baby because that way at least a judge will know what type of person the mom is. I mean, this woman sees her child as a dollar sign. I don't think I'm wrong for wanting this girl to leave, but her family thinks I am. Cut the cord. You keep blaming this woman, but your son plays a central part in all of this. He is compliant in every bad thing that has happened. He is a father now and has chosen this lifestyle instead of doing what's best for the baby. Maybe with your son on his own, you will get him back, or at the very least be able to prove that your grandbaby isn't properly being taken care of and gain custody. When they don't have it so easy, maybe he will open his eyes. Evict, sell the house, wait, call social services and get custody of grandchild. Your son will return one day. I can understand where you're coming from and how you feel. At the same time, your son is 26 years old and is well into adulthood. He's no longer a baby. He's also a father and he's overdue for some tough love. From my perspective, I'm concerned about that 1-year-old baby being caught in the middle of that crappy situation with both of her/his parents behaving irresponsibly. Who's looking out for that tiny innocent? The tiny innocent may not even exist. Opie says she's 50, but her comment from 2 years ago says she's almost 30. You are really letting your son off the hook here. He is 26 and chooses this woman and, by extension, her family. He could choose to leave the situation at any time. But he hasn't left. He's probably playing both sides. They are all moochers, including your son. They will continue to take advantage of your generosity, free house, job, babysitting, and all the other freebies you and your husband provide, for as long as you let them. Sounds more like he could be the victim of domestic abuse. Clearly he's under her spell, AMD mile deep in the fog. Low self-esteem can easily be exploited by abusers. But yes, he needs to wake up and stop enabling her. If the kid gets placed with the grandparents, that might be the much-needed wake-up call. Has your son filed for custody? Seems that's an obvious step. Also, does he want to be with her? You haven't really addressed that part of it. If he wants to be with her, then you need to back off. Throw them out of your house since that's an issue and let him work it out with her. Otherwise, he should take the baby if he can get custody, and then you can evict them. You need to start documenting everything, darling. You are not wrong at all, but you need to be prepared. Whoa. Pump the brakes, friend. Your son is in the home, stable, not on drugs. You are unlikely to be able to take custody from him, and you are very likely to ruin your relationship with him if you try to take his kid. If you try, and you fail, then they cut off contact with you. Then you are no longer watching the baby during the day, and the baby and your son are in a worse position than you started. I'd advise a conversation with your son. Is he content? Is he okay with his baby living like this? Does he have worries? I'm sure he knows your position on the baby mama, I'm sure you've shared. But have you listened? We all know your concerns and worries, but in this writing you've treated your son like he's 6, unable to make his own decisions, and so naturally, the only things that matter are you versus the girlfriend. He's not 6. He's not 16. If you take things to court, the judge will not treat him like he's 6. The judge will see him as stable, responsible, caring for his child and engaging a responsible adult to watch the baby while he's at work, He's the primary driver in this. Don't discount that. Make yourself the safe place for him, emotionally as well as physically. This is less of an Entitled People and more of a Mike Lee movie. You need to have a serious talk with your son about what he wants. Karen demands seat on LRT and gets thrown. The title may seem extreme, but let me explain. I was on my city's LRT line, light rail transit, heading downtown from my station. The train was packed and there were no more seats left because of a rugby game down at my city's arena. Anyways, this lady gets on and immediately starts yelling for someone to give up their seat. Note, our trains are in the station for like max 30 seconds, so you have to be snappy getting on and off. So she tries to force her way into a spot, and as she is doing so the doors close and the train accelerates from 0 to 80 km per hour in less than 12 seconds, and this lady goes flying like 4 meters back and slides across the floor. She was being so rude that it was karma well deserved. She wasn't seriously injured, but she learned that when people aren't going to give up their seats, just grab one of the standing loops instead of trying to force people out of their seats. Obviously her train of thought was derailed. Not many thoughts were crossing her mind. She had a one-track mind. Sounds like Sydney to me. We were always taught to stand for less abled people, including pregnant women, elders, and often parents with kids. But not for entitled bins who don't know how to ride the light rail and are being entitled AF. Especially because there's another one a few minutes behind it. So this is a train system that accelerates from 0 to 50 miles per hour straight out of the station in less than 12 seconds. Then she's sent flying 13 feet and slides across the floor. But fortunately she's not seriously injured. Something about this smells a tad off. I believe the author employed a bit of hyperbole as a literary device, my good, but literally minded, sir. I presume she was not disabled or old/frail. In which case I'm laughing. Wish there was a video I would watch that on repeat without it getting old. Oh, I so enjoy reading a good Karen gets hooked by karma story. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.